Let me expand a little bit on my role as a principal first before I get into athletics. I was really young in those days, and there was a lot of social change. I think I was 30 years old when I was principal. It was kind of scary. It's even scarier than it is standing up here, believe me. It was a memorable year, 1976, a time of tremendous social change. The long war in Vietnam was just beginning to wind down. Our local school board had just banned corporal punishment. It was also America's bicentennial. 50 years ago, Apple Computer was founded that year. And those of you that really like underdog stories, the movie Rocky made its debut. Another big social change, maybe one of the bigger ones, was the passing of Title IX, where women's sports were given equal access to facilities, etc. It put it on par with the men's programs, believe it or not. 76, that was also the year that the football team led by James Bell. Remember James? Terrific athlete. They almost won the state championship. They were that good. The boys' basketball team was a state champion, right, Trini? The golf team was a state champion. The gymnastics team was a state champion. Other athletic teams, both boys and girls, performed very well, continuing a tradition of athletics. Let me just kind of divert a little bit away from athletics, but talk a little bit about who we are as a community. Albuquerque High School encompasses many neighborhoods, but one Bulldog identity. It has reflected the city that it represents. Our students come from different neighborhoods. Let me name just a few. Wells Park, Barelas, Sawmill, South Broadway, The Sticks, Altura Park, Spruce Park, or Pill Hill as we used to call it those days, Old Town, San Jose, Martinez Town, or Dog Town as we call it, right? The Southeast Heights, Duranes, Netherwood Park, and on the far south, Kirtland Addition. Different neighborhoods, different histories, different cultures, and very different life experiences. I've always believed that when you put on the green and white, those differences become strengths. Every pass, every lap, every goal, every moment of sacrifice speaks to the same truth. Unity makes us stronger. The Bulldog's success has never belonged to any one program or one era. Our boys and girls programs alike have claimed championships in multiple sports throughout the years, of course. Every victory representing hours of discipline, resilience, and beliefs. These achievements were not accidents. They were the result of coaches who demanded character as much as skill, teammates who held each other accountable, families and neighborhoods who showed up, win or lose. Every Bulldog sport, in every Bulldog sport, Bulldog athletes learn the same lesson. No one succeeds alone. Bulldog sports really taught us much more. In gymnasiums, locker rooms, fields, and buses across New Mexico, Bulldog athletes learned lessons that lasted after the final whistle. They learned how to trust people who didn't grow up like them, how to lead and how to follow, how to represent something bigger than themselves. At their best, Bulldog sports brought people together who might otherwise never have crossed paths. Students, families, and neighborhoods united in pride in a shared identity. For a city as diverse as Albuquerque, this is no small achievement. Today, the trophies tell the stories of championships, but the real legacy of Albuquerque High Athletics lives in the people. Leaders, professionals, parents, mentors, community members that were shaped by the time as Bulldogs. The lessons remain clear and timeless when we commit to a common cause, when we respect each other's differences and pull in the same direction. There are no limits to what we can accomplish. In closing, to every Bulldog athlete, past, present, and future, thank you for carrying this legacy forward. To the coaches, families, and neighborhoods who stand behind them, thank you for proving that unity is our greatest strength. Albuquerque High School is not just a school. It's a community, it is a tradition, and it is a powerful reminder that when we stand together, we win together. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give him one more round of applause. So how's everybody feeling this morning? All right, thanks for having us. So our first inductee is going to be Lucian Starzinski. He was the boys soccer coach, state champions in 2015, 17, and 2019, a 9-time. They won 9 district titles, and speaking on his behalf today and presenting him is going to be Mr. Chad Jones.
Good morning, everybody. Doug Dorme was supposed to introduce Lucian. He couldn't be here today. He had a previous engagement. He asked me to speak on his behalf. So I'm going to read this letter that Coach Dorme wrote. So it's going to sound like it's coming from somebody else because it is. So first off, Coach Dorme said, I wanted to congratulate all the inductees today in the Albuquerque High A Club Hall of Honor. It is also a great honor to introduce Lucian Starzinski. I had the privilege of being the athletic director during the historic 13-year run made by his Bulldog soccer teams. Lucian has deep roots in Albuquerque High School. He graduated here, along with his brother and sister. His mother, Francesca, was also a longtime teacher here at the school. Lucian then became one of the most successful head coaches in any sport at AHS. In 1999, Lucian was hired to be the soccer coach at Albuquerque High. Soccer was still a relatively new sport in New Mexico high school circles. The team did not have an on-campus facility and played all their games at the Bernalillo Soccer Complex. The team struggled, and after 3 years, Lucian moved on from the program. When Lucian left in 2002, he first traveled to Zimbabwe with an organization called Grassroots Soccer. He stayed there for 2 years, teaching soccer and working with social programs within that country. After returning to the States, Lucian became heavily involved in the club soccer scene. There, he was mentored by Chris Cartledge, who now works for the Colorado Rapids. Lucian became heavily immersed in the club soccer scene, coaching high-level youth soccer. In 2007, Lucian traveled back to Italy to give professional soccer just one more try. While he was in Italy, he received an email that alerted him of the opening for the Albuquerque High boys soccer job again. He thought this might be his second opportunity to lead his alma mater. We were fortunate to hire Lucian for his second stint at Albuquerque High in 2008. And this time, Lucian was ready. Everything came together for the soccer program. The facility renovation led to a brand new soccer field in front of Albuquerque High for home games and practice. In the past, since they played at the Bernalillo Soccer Complex, very few people attended. The team was also practicing at Martineztown Park. But having an on-campus facility changed the entire culture of Bulldog soccer. It became easier to follow and to notice the soccer team. Lucian began a methodical climb to the top. In 2010, 2011, and 2012 seasons, the soccer team made the first round of the state tournament, but were eliminated. In 2013, the Bulldogs advanced into the state semifinals. A penalty in the goalie box led to a heartbreaking defeat. In 2014, Lucian's teams kicked down another barrier. They finally reached the state finals. Unfortunately, the soccer gods decided that Volcano Vista was the better team that night. The Bulldogs finished second in state to earn a red trophy, but the best was yet to come. In 2015, 2017, and 2019, Lucian and his Bulldog soccer teams were the conquering heroes. They captured the state 5A championship, defeating respectively Atrisco Heritage, La Cueva, and Hobbs in those championship games, earning themselves the Blue Trophy. Lucian's teams had become the pinnacle and benchmark for excellence in boys soccer in the state of New Mexico. His 2019 team earned a national ranking and were honored by Max Preps. He garnered multiple New Mexico Coach of the Year honors and was an NFHS Coach of the Year nominee. Fans flocked to see Lucian and the Bulldog teams in the state tournament. The crowds at the soccer complex, both in Bernalillo and the APS, were unmatched. It was a sea of Kelly green and white. To this day, the NMAA will tell you that nobody ever brought more fans to a state soccer tournament than the Bulldogs. It was a must-see soccer and a major event for the entire AHS community. Those teams and 3 blue trophies recharged Albuquerque High School and it brought so much hope and pride back to the school. Lucian's last season was during the pandemic of 2020-2021. He had announced that he was leaving Albuquerque High to work for the New Mexico United Soccer Team, and it just started in Albuquerque. Also, the United Soccer Team had taken several of our players to join their academy after they were beginning. Despite losing 4 of his best players to the United, Lucian once again took his team to the state championship game against Rio Rancho. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs did not prevail that day, but they earned another red trophy, giving Lucian a total of 3 state championships and 2 state runner-ups. A tremendous feat. It was a bittersweet day because it ended a remarkable AHS coaching career of Lucian Starzinski. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to introduce one of the most legendary coaches in Bulldog City history, Lucian Starzinski.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Chad. First of all, there are 2 things I never talk about. I never talk about my playing career. I played, but it was nothing worth calling a career. And I never talk about those first 4 years coaching at Albuquerque High. I was 22 when I was hired to be the varsity head coach of Albuquerque High. 22, never coached a day in my life. And I was awful, to say. But what I did after that was what I think we all need to do in life if we want to be good at anything. I went and got some really good mentors. And looking back on it, the mentors in my life here at that time in the early 2000s in Albuquerque, lucky. I was so lucky to have those people here at the same time. Chad mentioned Chris Cartledge. He's now the technical director at Rapids, and he meant everything to me in my life as a mentor and what it means to coach. I wanted Chad and Gormy to introduce me because when I came back, I was ready to do it the right way. Tim McCorkle hired me in 2008, and I felt like the 3 of us, Doug Dormy, that was his first year. Chad Jones came pretty shortly after as the trainer. I felt like as an administration, we were all on the same team, we were fighting the same cause, and we were all in it together. Players on the field, the staff, the coaching staff, and the administration, I thought we were all doing it together. And the friendships that came from that have meant a lot to me in my life, so thank you, Chad. I do have to say before I go on, I was at that game last fall when Tomas Fabrica longtime teacher at Albuquerque High, died on the sideline, had a heart attack. Obviously, what we're doing today is recognizing sports. My junior and senior year here at Albuquerque High, I had Mr. I had Mr. Fabrica as a teacher, and he was, for me, that teacher. Everything else I did in my life, outside of soccer, a lot of that came from him. We've all had that teacher in our life. Mr. Fabrica he was that guy for me. He was that teacher. And to be there that day, yeah. Anyway, much love to Mr. Fabrica, his family, and but as Chad said, I work in New Mexico United now. That's the reason why I left Albuquerque High. It was the kind of the obvious path. It's been good, it's been fascinating. Working with a pro club, it's a whole different set of challenges. But there will never be anything in my life in this game that'll compare to those years coaching at Albuquerque High. Nothing. You know, and I've thought a lot about why it meant so much to me. First of all, the obvious reason, I was born and raised in the Albuquerque High neighborhood. Went to Monte Vista, Jefferson, Albuquerque High. But as Richard Romero was saying, I think what really has hit me and what really moved me and why this meant so much to me, I haven't been in this school a while, and I was just looking at our trophies over there in those cases, and looking at the names on those trophies. Our team, for those years, man, represented literally every single neighborhood in the Albuquerque High District. And Richard Romero listed all of them. I mean, from Old Town to Downtown to Broadway to Gibson to Yale to back down to Indian School, that circle around Albuquerque High, we had players from every single neighborhood there. And it's not even just the guys who are on those trophies, it's the ones who didn't win the trophies. That first year I got here, we had 16 kids at tryouts. 16 kids, telling kids to go bring their friends out. But those kids who were in it in the beginning, they meant as much to winning those state titles as the guys whose names are on the trophies. And the feeling, what I miss the most, what I miss every day is those 5 or 6 years when we ran boys soccer, and we ran it. Everyone knew a state title was gonna go through us. Either we were gonna win it, or if we didn't, you sure as hell had to go through us. And that feeling, it's not invincibility, because you always, any player, any coach will tell you, there's always a part of you that's scared to lose. So you never feel invincible. But man, that feeling when we walked on the field and we knew our boys in our neighborhood, our families, that everyone respected us, feared us, and that strength that came from that, there is, in doing that again with our boys in our neighborhoods, that's something that I miss every single day. I miss it, I miss it, I miss it. But I'm also at a point now where I can truly say, look back on those years and feel honor. I was honored when you gave me the call a couple months ago, looking at all the people here, the people I'm being inducted with, honored to have my name alongside all of yours. And as always, just this deep pride I've always had to be part of this Albuquerque High family. So I thank all you guys. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, once again, let's give a round of applause for Mr. Starzynski and what he's done for Albuquerque High tradition. So next up, we have Jordan Santiago. And just want to give you guys a little insight on these brothers today. They were slated to go a little bit later in the program, but they have something very special going on today in their family as their sister's graduating from UNM, from nursing school, if I'm not mistaken. And so they're going now, so they can attend that engagement as well. So let's thank the family once again. So let's get on to Jordan. So Jordan Santiago, class of 2010, wrestling. Two-time state champion, 2007, 2008, district champion, 2007, 2008, 2010, three-time city champion, 2008, 2009, and 2010, and he took third place in state in 2010. And speaking for Jordan today and honoring him will be his father, Moses Santiago, and his coach, Manny Garcia.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome, all inductees and honors. I'm not one for speaking, but I have the privilege up here to speak on behalf of Jordan Santiago and his father and brother here, as they mentioned. We started wrestling back in the day when we were young. Me and Moses were coaches in junior wrestling, and watched these young men grow up, and as Jordan came through the ranks, and along the way, I became a coach here at Albuquerque High. And we started the junior program, and I started as an assistant here under Tomas Zamora, and later became the head coach, and had the privilege of coaching Jordan Santiago to 2 state titles, and as they mentioned, all his credentials and status. Jordan, congratulations, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to coach you. And without further ado, here's his father, Moses.
He only took a minute. I don't like talking in front of people, so if I cry, I'm sorry. It's a blessing to have my son from day one. Knew he was going to wrestle, because I wrestled. I wrestled with Manny from the age of 5 all the way up to still wrestling. But Jordan had a wild, funny path. The kid used to cry all the time. Win or lose, he was constantly crying. He made the newspaper at the age of 6, front headlines. Kid gets paid to make kids cry by his father. So in order for me to stop my son from crying, I told him I would pay him $1 if he would make the other kid cry. My kid's very smart, so he'd make kids cry, got $1. Took state, is 6 years old, newspaper, liked him, asked him, what makes you so good? He says, my dad pays me to make kids cry. Yeah, that got dad suspended for 2 years. Didn't sound too good. I just wanted my kid to stop to cry. He's doing great. He advanced. We had our ups, we had our downs, but more ups. I was just say agreements and disagreements. Special kid, and now he's giving back to the community. He has a wrestling team now for 4 years. 4 years at our gym. We own a gym on the west side. We have a wrestling program with a few of our old wrestlers there and coaches from other teams that helped Jordan through his younger years. Coach Kelly. #1 team in the state. the junior program in our team in the state. They have 4 national ranked kids, yeah, 4 national ranked kids, 5 national ranked kids. So he's giving back to the community. I'm very proud to have that kid. It was a blessing to have him and his younger brother traveling in the bout. And I love you.
Good morning, everybody, guys. I'm Santiago, Jordan's a little bigger brother. It's an honor that he wanted me to come speak on his behalf as well. Funny story, we actually tried to quit wrestling when we were kids. It was my idea. We were inside the car, my dad was locking up the wrestling door, and before Dad got back to the car, I was like, hey, do you want to quit? He goes, yeah, cool. Dad got back to the car, Jordan's in the passenger, I'm in the back seat. Right when Dad starts the car, Jordan's all, Dad, I quit. Oh yeah? Look back at me, he's like, you want to quit? No. So he took a big hit from me multiple times, but I do want to talk about him and saying he was one of my best partners growing up and in high school. Love you, brother.
Thank you to all the families and members that supported my kids from the age of 5 and still going. You guys are a big part. You guys helped us a lot.
Just wanted to say thank you to all the family and friends that I had show up for me today, but also most importantly throughout my youth as well. You know, my family had me wrestling year round, not just for the normal wrestling season for the 3 months, but we wrestled year round for many, many years. It's a tough sport, dieting, everything else that comes with it, and I had a lot of support from family members who got me to practice. My mom, who was always there alongside hosting tournaments here in this facility. My dad, who pushed me to be better, that I now understand more. And I have the pleasure of doing that now with my daughter, who's also in wrestling and is a state champ and took nationals this year. So we're a wrestling family, and that hasn't stopped yet. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to my speakers, to my family, my coach here, who I've called Uncle growing up. And thank you.